Hello everyone, welcome back. Here I am on the topic of Veerappan once again this year, not because I intended to make two videos on Veerappan, but because the year 2023 ended up with two web series on Veerappan. I published my review on the Netflix series The Hunt for Veerappan, which is one of the well-made documentaries I have come across. The Hunt for Veerappan left many questions unanswered due to the limitations that they had. But it did set some benchmark and high standards that would make it difficult for anyone else to emulate. So, naturally, I was quite skeptical when I heard of this new Z series, Koose Munisamy Veerappan, directed by Sharath Jothi. Did Koose Muni Veerappan meet the expectations? Does it stay neutral or favor one over the other? Did it answer the questions that were left wide open in the Netflix series? Honestly, it's a tough ask. But I dare say Koose Muni Veerappan met my expectations, and how? Let's dive deep. It is almost 2 decades since Veerappan was killed by the Special Task Force, yet his story continues to keep people like me spellbound. Now, how does Koose Muni Veerappan differ in narrative? To start with, this series has access and rights to the video footages of Veerappan himself. Back in those days, Nakkeeran Gopal's interviews with Veerappan was sensational stuff. They created quite some ripples, upset a lot of political figures, and opened a can of worms. The narrative painted by the governments of both the states fell apart, and it is no exaggeration when I say it even contributed to the fall of the then ADMK government headed by Jayalalitha. With such a strong visual document as support, it would take some extraordinary skills to mess up. And thankfully, director Sharath Jothi has done complete justice to the job given. It does not solely rely on Veerappan's tapes alone. He has incorporated inputs from journalists, human rights activists, former police, people affected by Veerappan, those who worked with him, and his own blood, his daughter. Along with video footages and interviews, Sharath Jothi also has recreated important scenes that presents facts as it happened without taking sides. What is commendable is the way both Sharath Jothi with his Z series and Selvamani Selvaraj with his Netflix series has handled the narrative without taking sides. The first season of Koose Muni Veerappan has 6 episodes. While the Netflix series predominantly documented the STF side efforts to nab Veerappan, Sharath Jothi presents Veerappan's side of narrative. Veerappan nonchalantly narrates incidents and happenings in his life with the candidness that he makes it sound like following a morning routine. But for a viewer, the mere thought of the deeds sends chills down the spine. It is almost impossible at times as a reviewer to differentiate between reviewing the series, reviewing the issue, and reviewing the person. So, please bear with my digressions. This is how the series goes. After starting with Nakkeeran Gopal, the series starts with the narration of Veerappan on his early days and how he became an elephant poacher. Veerappan started as a hunter who hunted small animals from the forest for food for his family. He learnt hunting from his father. The forest is part of life for the villagers. The forest provides for them and they protect the forest. Due to his hunting skills, Veerappan gets into a smuggling gang, and that is how his life as a smuggler began. Here is the first myth that is shattered. The claims that Veerappan killed more than 1,000-2,000 elephants could be exaggeration at best. Elephant poachers were there before Veerappan, and they continue to exist even after him. Even when Veerappan ruled the forest, there were multiple gangs engaged in smuggling tusks and ivory, but it was Veerappan who was accused of killing all the elephants that were killed during those days. Veerappan makes this clear smilingly. Do I believe in his version? Of course I do. The second myth, his title of Sandalwood Smuggler. On this topic comes his version of truth that shocked me and reminded me once again how propaganda and media narrative can create an alternate that is completely different from reality. Veerappan claims that he was in sandalwood smuggling business for barely 11 months. Again, there were multiple gangs operating, but the blame of any and all sandalwood smuggled during the period was credited to Veerappan. In my previous review, I did raise the shortcoming of not addressing the logistics of carrying out such intensive operation of smuggling tusks and sandalwood by someone hiding deep inside the jungles. These questions are raised by Gopal and Seaman as well in this series, and made evident that it was done with the involvement of politicians, police, forest officials and villagers. Everybody earned. Make no mistakes, I am not by any means justifying the horrifying crimes of Veerappan. There is this constant debate whether Veerappan was a hero of the poor or a villain for all. Gopal makes it clear, his daughter Vidya makes it clear, there are acts committed by Veerappan that are not possible by any sane person with a stable mind. Any person who takes the life of another human is a criminal. Veerappan was a mercurial and emotional person. When provoked, he sees no logic. Even in his narration, we as viewers can see instances where his judgment was completely wrong. We may differ in the choice of instances, but it is a common opinion, and I agree with Veerappan's error in judgment in killing number 1, dear for Srinivas, number 2, a teenage boy, and number 3, villagers who are suspected of being informers. The details of his killing of Srinivas are not for the faint-hearted. For those who are convinced that no villagers suffered due to Veerappan should listen to Veerappan's own narration and the interviews of villagers before commenting further. While there are villagers who dreaded his existence, there are also villagers who revere him as a hero to the extent that he has a cult following, which is not surprising. Is Veerappan the head of an organized crime syndicate, or is he an unpredictable criminal who often reacts to perceived injustices surrounding him? I believe in the latter version. While his perceived injustices are highly debatable, it is also true that he was on the right side at many instances. And here is the most important aspect that got missed out in the Netflix's version, that is the villagers' side. This series sheds light on the villagers who were the collateral damage in the battle between the police and Veerappan. An entire episode is dedicated to recall the sufferings of the villagers in the hands of the so-called law. These details, I warn you, will make your stomach churn and make you question the worthlessness of being human while watching people suffer yet not being able to do anything about it. Thanks to the draconian Tada Act, anyone can be taken to custody and interrogated based on mere suspicion. The atrocities of the workshop were covered to some extent in the Netflix series. In this Z series, there is a recreation of scenes that paints a horrific picture of how it really was. You might have seen glimpses of this in the recent Vetrimaran film Vidudalai. It was based on the real incident that happened in Dharmapuri in 1992 while police were trying to get information from villagers about Veerappan. Whenever the horrors of police are shown on the screen, the mainstream media quickly dismisses it as torture porn. We witness this in case of Vidudalai and Jai Bhim, just because they do not have the balls to question the offenders for obvious reasons. Series such as this do a commendable job in bringing out the truth, even if it is partial truth. We do not know for how long the OTT platforms will enjoy this kind of a freedom, but as long as it lasts. The series is well paced and with each episode prompting the viewers to watch the next one. The climax of each episode is carefully thought through. Towards the end of the last episode, they open up the kidnapping of Kannada superstar Rajkumar, setting the grounds for the next season. Season 1 of Koose Munisamy Veerappan is binge-worthy. Season 2 is all set for an explosive opening. I have not credited the support crew of the series, nor have I touched upon the other aspects of Veerappan, such as his political ambitions, in this review. I'll cover those topics when I review Season 2 as and when it comes out. Thanks for watching. I'll come back with my next video. Till then, bye bye.